Hey guys, what's up? Carl Talker here, and today I'm here with a Musketeer deck profile. So this is the Legion build, so it's the BT16 build, and I've been playing around with this deck, and there are a lot of lineups that you can play with because Musketeer does have some support from the old stuff that you can use, and so yeah, let's just get right into the deck profile. So for the starting Vanguard, we run the new starting Vanguard for the Musketeers. Baby Best Musketeer, Liza. So her skill is counterblast 1. When this card gets sent from the rearguard circles to the drop zone, you counterblast 1 to, and if your Vanguard is in Legion, you may pay the cost and look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and then superior call 1 Musketeer unit from your deck to the rearguard circle. So basically, you pop this, counterblast 1, and then you can call 2 units basically, because if you pop this unit, then yeah, do that. Also, if you are in Legion and somebody pops, for example, someone uses shotgun blow dragon, and you can choose to retire this unit, and then you can still superior call 1 if you counterblast 1, because it has been put to the drop zone from a rearguard circle, and your Vanguard is in Legion, and then you can just superior call, counterblast 1, superior call 1 from the top 4 cards of your deck. Alright. Next, we run the new ace of the deck. Well, she's sort of the ace, but I don't use her as much as Vera. So this is Musketeer Martina, I think. Whoops. Her skill is counterblast 1. Choose from your drop zone. Choose 5 normal units, normal Musketeer units, and then put them to the bottom of your deck. And after that, you may look at the top 4 cards of the deck and superior call 2. So this card is a +2, but the downside is you do need to have quite a thick drop zone in order for you to use her effect properly. Because if you Legion on that turn and then you activate her skill, then you're going to need 9 cards in your drop zone. So, yeah. And calling 2 units out of 4 is sort of risky, I guess, since there's not much to pick from. But it's still more option than the Gold Paladins, I guess. And her second skill, or her third skill, her first skill is the Legion skill. It's when this card attacks the Vanguard, it gets +3k, so it gets 1k extra from most units. There are some other units that are also 3k, but anyway. Basically, if you didn't Legion yet and you attack, you can still hit 21 with a 7k booster, so she's okay with that. Next, for the grade 3, I run 4 Musketeer of Arrows. I actually use this card more than her, because this card you use late game because then you'll have a stacked drop zone, whereas this card you pressure your opponent with high numbers early game with this. Skill is Legion, and on the turn that this card Legions, all your Musketeer units get +3k power. So you can just call your units and they'll all get +3k. So your 12k attackers will become 15k, and then your 7k boosters will become 10k boosters. So it's actually pretty good. Next, second skill is activate skill. So you can choose a Musketeer unit from your rearguard circle, and then retire it. And after that, you may superior call 1 out of the top 5 cards of your deck. So it's a pretty basic Musketeer retire and call skill, scrap skill, I guess, similar to that of Cecilia. So there's Vera. Mainly, you're going to use her early game to scrap your units and pump up your units. Next, we run the Legion unit for Martina. This is Musketeer Thule. I think her name is Thule. Yeah. Thule. That's a cool name. So her skill is, when this card is called and and your Vanguard is in Legion, you may scrap a unit and then call a unit out of the top 4. So it's kind of like the old unit, except this card does not cost counterblast. Instead, you need to have a Legion Vanguard. So I run 4 of her because she's a Legion mate for Martina. Oops. And next we run 4 Musketeer Saul. I ran 3 before, but I find that her skill is actually better than this skill because this card actually gives you a solid +1. When this card attacks on the turn that your Vanguard is Legion, you may choose 3 normal Musketeer units in your drop zone and put them to the bottom of your deck. And then after that, you may draw a card when this card attacks and your Vanguard is Legion. So yeah, on the turn, this card only works on the turn that you Legion. So after you Legion, you attack with this, shove 3 Musketeer units back to the bottom of your deck, and then you can draw a card. So it's a pretty nice +1, but again, you do have to thicken your deck a bit by shoving 3 normal units back in. Normally what I do is I just shuffle my triggers back in with the Legion skill, and then with this, I'll shuffle my normal units back if I have to. Because normally what you want to do with Legion is just, you know, thin your deck so it's full of triggers, but in Musketeers it's a bit different because there are cards that you must shuffle your normal units back in, so it's fine. Next I run 3 12k attackers. I ran 4 before, but then I wanted to run more of this, so yeah. You can run 3 of these, I guess, but I don't know. It's more risky, I guess, because there have been games where I damage check or ridden these and I didn't have access to them anymore. So yeah, back then when I ran 3, I rode 1 and I didn't have the Soul Blast, so I couldn't get rid of it. I damage check 1, and I was like, oh well, at least I still have 1 more on my deck. And then, nope, damage check, and then I'm just like, well, I guess I can't Legion. So it's not very rare. I mean, it's not very common that it happens, but it does happen sometimes. And this is Vanguard, so there's not much you can do about it. Next, I run 2 Ruth. They're the 10k attackers. There are a lot of great ones I want to run in this deck, so I only have space for 2 Ruths. I run 3 Rebeccas. You can replace these with Tamara, but Tamara is, in my opinion, is not as good, because you have to designate 1 Musketeer unit on field, and you only get the top 4 cards of your deck to call. That card is a +1, but yeah, just I like Rebecca more. It's more safe, I guess. Next, I run the Dandelion Musketeer. She gets +3k when you shuffle your deck. So when this card boosts and you have shuffle your deck this turn, she gets +3k. So she's a 9k booster. You're playing Musketeers, so you're gonna shuffle your deck quite a bit. So it's pretty good. So this combined with this, it's 12k booster, so that's quite nice. Next, I run 2 of the Soul Blast 2 damage and flippers. She is a pretty decent card, because you want to Soul Blast your cards so that you have more cards to work with in your drop zone, and yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. And her being a 5k booster is not too much of a downside, especially on the turn that you Legion, because she would just make her an 8k booster, which is not horrible. So next I run 2 Perfect Guards. I'm running 2 Perfect Guards because I want to run 2 Quintet Walls. Because in this deck, as I said before, you have to have quite a large drop zone in order for your deck to function properly. So I run Quintet Walls because these cards are the fastest way to mill your deck. And they haven't been too big of a problem for me right now, because right now Legions don't swing for too big. It's like 30, it's only around 20 something k to 30k. So it's actually not too bad. You just need to get like not all grade 3s, and then it'll be fine, sort of. And then for the trigger lineup, I run 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal. So I'm not running the stands because I don't like the stands, I guess. Because right now, when you're in a format with Legion, having stand units and if you're putting Vanguard with it one card in their hand, you're just helping them fill their drop zone for targets to Legion, or to shuffle back with Legion. So I rather have an extra crit that guarantees me that extra damage, while instead of having a unit to attack, because it might get me that extra damage, but it could also, you know, help them drop a card off their hand. And if they really if they actually needed to drop a card from their hand for Legion, then it might not be too beneficial, because right now hand size it's important, but it's not as important as it used to be, because back then the game used to be mainly around when you and your opponent were at 4 damage, but now the game is at a state where you can stay at 2 to 3 damage for a long time and the game won't end yet, and then suddenly your opponent will swing for a really big number and extra crit, and then you'll be dead at while you're at 3 damage because of risers and whatnot. So yeah, also the Wild Rush Dragon is also a big problem. So that's why I run 8 crits instead of the 4 Musketeer stands. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck. It's a very fun deck to play, and it's pretty consistent, but it doesn't have as much power as the other Legion decks out there so far, because it does rely quite a bit on your drop zone. And while Legion is a mechanic that, you know, focus on your drop zone, so there's a bit of a problem there. But if you play around with this deck enough, then you'll find ways to get around it. So yeah, this is Cardfight, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.